Eamon's in the house. Hey, Bernie, how are you? I can't hear anything you're saying.
On, I think.
Now you're on.
So is you.
That song means that Bernie Eamon's in the house.
Yes,
You ever dance to that at a wedding?
always.
Get any moves?
That and Twist and Shout. That's my favorite.
Twist and shout.
Twist and Shout, the Beatles version. It's fantastic.
Do you know how unappealing that sounds, just sitting here watching you dance to Twist and Shout?
You got to see me sometime, too.
You're a good dancer?
I've been told, not really, but twisting is no problem.
Hey, who's to your right, Bernie?
Yeah, let's bring in my guest here.
Did you forget his name?
No, I'm just trying to think here. I'm waiting for a drum roll or something
Okay,
here.
go ahead.
Eric Sapyta is my godson, also my second cousin. He just came back from Afghanistan, and I just want to throw a little history back here because, first of all, I know I have a lot of East Chicago listeners since all of our family roots come from East Chicago, but his grandfather was Roman Sapyta, who was a police officer for many years in East Chicago. And he, I believe, retired as the assistant chief of police. I know he was the head of the detective bureau for many, many years, but my Uncle Roman moved down to Florida in about 1972, and with the family and everything. And one of his sons, Jim, who was my cousin, also godfather to my daughter Angie. This is his son, so makes him my second cousin. But I am also his godfather. So very proud of him for everything that he does, and I'll let him talk about it. But I'm just curious here because I used to get emails from him all the time when he was 15, 16 years old. He already had his flying license, and I can't remember how old he was when he was actually flying solo already, but he joined the Army. I'll let him get into all that and tell you about his rank and everything. But he's in Afghanistan, and he flies Blackhawk helicopters, and I got to have a lot of guts to do stuff like that. So I'll let him talk about it here a little
Eric, how are you, man?
Yeah, good. How you doing?
If I didn't stop him, he was going to continue to introduce you until the show was over. And
That's
then
all right.
We go, thanks, Eric, for coming in.
Yeah, no problem. Seat's comfortable.
Eric, how long you been in the military?
Just over 3 years now. Been in.
So how long were you in the Middle East?
I was in Afghanistan for about 9 months.
And what did you fly there?
Just Blackhawks.
What did you carry around? Supplies, guys?
Mostly either supplies or the majority were people.
So you're just carrying them back and forth around Afghanistan?
Yeah, back and forth wherever they need to go. We'll take them.
Describe that.
Well, Afghanistan itself is, it's actually a very, very beautiful country to fly around. Very beautiful mountains, beautiful scenery. Believe it or not, the valleys there, flying up and down them are very lush, green river valleys. And of course, as it's portrayed on the news or, however you see it in movies, desert environment. But it's a very catalyzing terrain, very challenging, but also very fun. And the best part about it is the things that we trained for are the things that we did. So actually the training was very beneficial prior to going over there. So it was very rewarding being able to deploy in service of this nation and being able to do the missions that we train to do.
So is there still a lot of fear is there still a lot of conflict? Are you guys flying around like constantly looking for someone, that might be attacking you in some way or another? How does that go?
Well, it's still considered a combat zone, so we're always more vigilant than we would be flying here in the United States. So there's always that elevated fear of actually, I wouldn't say fear, but being on constant guard a little bit more than you would be flying here. But the way that we flew and everything like that kind of mitigated us, actually being engaged at, if you will, by the enemy.
So how you've been flying since you were 15 or 16?
Yeah, I think I soloed when I was 15 in an airplane.
And how did that come about at such a young age?
Well, I think it started off going to the air shows with my dad, or actually even we would just go to the airport. We'd grab Dairy Queen down in West Palm and go watch the planes land and take off. And then I was like, this is pretty cool. I think I might want to do this.
Instead of like your dad taking you to a ball game or to the mall?
We do that too.
Or you got a beach there?
Yeah.
Instead, you'd go get Dairy Queen and you go sit outside the airport?
Yeah. Yep. We do
really?
that.
How'd that go?
worked out pretty good.
I mean, you guys listen to the radio or just sit there and watch the
Now we
planes
would just
go?
sit there and talk.
It's a
and-
pretty busy airport, right?
yeah, West Palm's
Palm.
pretty busy.
So you get to see all the jets now. Does it have a good vantage point where you can kind of be
it
under
does. They
them?
actually have a parking lot pretty much just for that. So benches and everything like that. They you'd sit there, eat lunch, or eat the Dairy Queen, and
You know, we have a little airport over here, Lansing Airport, and I ride my bike over there. And once in a while, there's dad with a kid just sitting there watching the one plane every 2 hours come in and out.
Yeah.
And it's a little different situation. But I could see that where you're just kind of – and so you developed this infatuation with flying or what?
I did. Even though I have a terrible fear of heights.
I didn't know that.
Really?
It's a
What do you
little
mean a
different.
terrible
I
fear of
won't go up
heights?
the Sears Tower.
You won't go up there? Why? You know, they have this thing on the Sears Tower at the very
The
top
ledge,
where you can walk out onto a
that
piece
platform. Oh
of
yeah.
clear, whatever it's made out of, some sort of block plastic, and you can stand on it like you're standing on air.
Yeah,
You
it looks
wouldn't
like
be
you're
able to do
falling
that?
midair. Yeah.
It looks like
Yeah,
you're
Won't
out
do
there.
that.
No.
You won't do that?
Well, you know how I did it. I backed into it and I walked backwards. I took 2 steps, kept my eyes closed the entire time, held my eyes up, just opened them up just for the picture, and I almost froze. I mean, to walk back, I wouldn't look down, and they had to actually grab me by my sweatshirt and like pull me back in like that because I was frozen. That's how afraid I am of heights. So I don't know if you're about the same way. but-
Runs in the family.
Yes, I guess.
Really? So, like, you go up a ladder even around the house?
No,
like on
that's fine. It's just, I guess, a static height.
a static
I'll do
height?
roller coasters.
Wait.
I'll do roller coasters. I've done skydiving, but tall buildings.
You know, some people have this. By the way, you want to talk to Eric Sapyta, and he is Bernie's relative here, and he's in the military right now. You got any questions about his service in Afghanistan or anything like that, or you just want to tell him thanks? Call right now. We got another about 7-8 minutes at 219-845-1100. So forget the heights thing. There's much more important things going on. So you are in what branch of the military again?
Army.
You're in the Army. So you're an Army helicopter pilot. And so how many hours a day are you flying?
It varies based off of what you're doing, but probably average maybe 4 to 5 per day that you're flying.
And so I mean, is it how big is a Blackhawk? I don't even know.
Well, figure it could carry about 10 people.
About 10 people. So 2 pilots or
Two pilot, yeah, it's 2 pilots, usually 2 crew chiefs or a crew chief and a door gunner, and then we can carry up to 10 people based off of environmental restrictions, whether it's temperature or however high you are, picking people up.
Is it hot there?
It either goes very hot or very cold. At the at one of the bases I was at, I think they got 8 inches of snow plus. It gets cold. I think that's a common misconception because it gets really cold.
So you have to have all sorts of gear with you.
Cold weather stuff. Absolutely.
So are you married or anything?
Nope, single.
Single guy in the military? Now, are you going back?
I am.
When?
Well, to Afghanistan?
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet, to be honest with you. I'm
But-
not sure how it's looking, but yeah, I got to go back to my base here later on today,
Oh, really?
Yep.
And your base is in
Kentucky.
Kentucky. So you're going to drive down there?
Yep.
Wayne Mick over here at Mick Cabinets has a plane. He'd be happy to fly you. I'm not kidding.
He's
Anyway.
coming back for 4th of July, so maybe we'll send Wayne down there to go get him.
Okay, 219-845-1100. And let's talk to Dave. Hey, Dave, what's up, man?
Hey guys, hi Bernie.
Hi, Dave.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
Keep keeping us all safe. How or why, or did you make the transition from planes to helicopters? I'm interested, or was that just something else you had that you really wanted to do? And did you fly helicopters before you went to Afghanistan? Not necessarily in the Army, but in the private sector, did you fly helicopters at all? And I'd like to hear your answer.
Yeah, sure.
All right, hang up and listen. Thanks a lot.
Sure.
Go ahead, man.
Well, actually, I did not fly helicopters before going into the Army. I went to college down in Daytona Beach, went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, did ROTC there did my major in aeronautics, and then did a minor there in aviation law. I was kind of between 2 ROTC programs, whether it was going to be Air Force or Army, and honestly, it came down to Army said yes. So Then I started doing my research more as to what I want to do in the Army, whether it be helicopters, and they do have a fixed wing program in the Army as well. But doing my research and then figuring out that helicopters was the route I wanted to take. Honestly, can say right now that going back to planes is going to be a pretty tough decision to make, because honestly, flying helicopters is it's fun, it's challenging, and it's going to make, like I said, it's going to make going back to flying planes pretty difficult. I'm pretty sold on helicopters.
How long did it take you to learn how to fly a helicopter?
Let's see, the flight school program down at Fort Rucker, Alabama. It's about a 1.5-year program. So, and you got to do a bunch of training. Either you start off in like a Bell 206, which is basically like a news helicopter you see flying around daily. Then you work your way up to the bigger airframe, to the Blackhawk, which is what I picked.